What's up Trekkies and Trekkers, it's CornishRatBeard here bringing you another Star Trek New Horizons tutorial. This time the subject will be how to beat the Xindi crisis event. Now with this one, it can prove to be a little tricky, especially to the beginners of the game, and that's mainly who we like to focus on here. These tutorials are part of a series brought to you by me and J4miePlays. For more of these tutorials, check out the playlist linked in the description below. So the first thing I'm doing here is setting up the game. This tutorial will be demonstrated on the hardest difficulty, Grand Admiral, and all the extra challenges added in there for good measure. My thinking is, if you know how to get through this on the hardest difficulty, you should have no problem attempting it at the lower difficulties, right? So first of all, we will get our technologies out the way, but we are mainly looking for the techs that will help improve our fleet for the upcoming battles. Now this is important. We are going to want to build a few alloy foundries along with 1 or 2 power stations to keep the lights on. Building a second shipyard can be a good idea to ease the pressure while building up our fleet, but you don't necessarily have to do this step. So as you may be aware, we have an incoming probe that attacks Earth first. We are going to try and stop that probe from ever reaching Earth, as it has a devastating effect on our poor planet and it just sets us back. Increase your ship production as much as your command limit will let you, which is usually around 12 Emmett class frigates. This is the fleet that will take that probe out. So once you've done these little steps, just carry on and play the game as normal. Explore, do surveys, even build 1 or 2 more science ships. This is why having 2 shipyards right away could be helpful for you. Right, if you fancy a bit of role playing, then be sure to get Jonathan Archer on board. But if you don't have him or you lose him for whatever reason, any scientist will do for the Xindi event chain. So with those extra alloy foundries in place, that will ensure that we have enough materials to build our fleet. Now the probe does attack us sometime in the 2150s, so start building up that fleet as soon as you can. Note, you will go over your fleet cap, but it won't be for long, so don't worry. As you can see, my fleet is coming along nicely, so it's a good time to get a decent Admiral. Any Admiral will work, but it will help a little more if you can bag the best one at the time. Preferably one with as much damage as possible, but in my case, we've got Hernandez here, which you should have available to you as well. Okay, so for this to work, we are going to have to position our fleet on the most northern part of the system. This will ensure that we get as much damage done to the probe as possible before it reaches Earth. Okay, here we go. Let's see how our fleet holds up and if it can save our planet. As you can see there, the fleet engaged right away. The probe itself doesn't have any weapons, so it is all about inflicting as much damage as possible in a short space of time. Very short space of time. Okay, nice. We just about got away with it and Earth is safe for now. So now would be a good time to disband your fleet until you are back in your fleet cap. I've also switched 1 shipyard out to an energy weapon. This will really help in our main fight against the weapon if our fleet perishes. The next part of this event chain is to bring a scientist to the wreckage of the probe for an investigation. Now the wise thing to do here is stall a little. We've been given lots of time to complete this quest, so use it. I myself took the time to research more technologies which increase my ship's attack and defences. During this countdown, you could keep surveying, or what I did was bring my scientists back to Earth to help with the research. I also built a second starbase to put 1 shipyard down, just in case I wanted more colony or science ships. I would like to also add that in this extra time spent researching more technologies, I did get the option to research the first light cruiser, but in this video I show you that it's perfectly possible to do this without the need for them. If you do get the option to get these, then absolutely go ahead and do that, but as it's not always 100%, I just wanted to show you that it can be done without them. So once I saw the timer hit around 300 days, I then began to research the wreckage. The next event is similar in terms of time they give you, but I don't think it's necessary at all to wait all of the time. So go ahead and select your expedition leader when you're ready. Once done, you will get the starting pop-up of this chain event. Read that and let's move on to the first multi-choice pop-up. And here is that pop-up. It goes into detail about a Xindi worker that we need information from. If you have seen the series Enterprise, then you'll know what happens here, and it's precisely what you need to do. If you haven't seen it, don't worry, I've got you covered. The choice you should pick is meet with the Xindi worker. He then gives us information we needed, and we move on to our next pop-up. Right, okay, so we've come across the Vulcan ship, the Slayer, heavily damaged and in need of assistance. Without going into too much detail though, we can either rescue our away team and abandon them, or investigate a possible cure. The last option is the one we want. If the correct outcome procs and we get this excellent response, then the Slayer offers its services to us for the upcoming battle against the Xindi weapon ship. Perfect. So our next multi-choice options show us that we have located a chemocyte mining colony, and basically this stuff is used to help make the probe and more than likely the weapon ship that follows. I'm not sure, but I think we could do pretty much any of these choices, but the one I went with was to lead an away team to the colony. We did get an excellent message, so all good. Next is what seems to be a bit of a side mission. So we basically find a planet which is housing several thousand humans. But the strange thing is they are a long way from home. We go ahead and send a landing party to see what's up. Now, I'm not 100% sure what the best course of action here is, but we did learn that the humans were brought here by an alien race to use as slaves, basically. But in a classic turn of events, the humans actually overthrew the alien race and ended up using them as slaves. Well, as good as anyway. So, being the good captain that we are, I decided to reveal the United Earth to the population. Next, we offer both support to colonies of the planet, and hopefully we will get some good news later on down the line about the decision we just made. So we've just bumped into Shran, and he basically wants to give us a hand, so I think it's best that we accept his assistance because we will need to use his ship for the upcoming battle against the Xindi weapon. So we are now nearing the end of this event chain, and this multi-choice pop-up comes to our attention. So we capture an important Xindi scientist named Degra, and we have a few options given to us on what we could do with him. Best course of action here, guys, is to prepare a deception for him. Once again, we see an excellent screen pop up which indicates all went to plan. So we finally make it to the Xindi Council to hopefully stop them wanting to attack Earth. We do succeed in showing most of the Xindi Council that we are not a threat to them, but the reptilians and the insectoids, well, they have other plans. They take command of the weapon ship and set course for Earth. The Enterprise rushes into action to try to catch them up, along with a couple of other Xindi ships actually, which are our newly found allies. After you have read all of that, the weapon ship will appear instantly in your Sol system. What I did here was engage all the available ships I had, which includes however many ships your fleet cap can handle. So in my case, I had 9 Emmett-class frigates, help from the Slayer, Shran even chips in with his battleship, and our new Xindi allies. We do also get the NX-class flagship back, which definitely does pack a punch. Engage the weapon ship and follow the battle closely. If you find the weapon ship is getting closer to Earth, your starbase, with the equipped weapons, don't forget, will kick into action and hopefully save the day. As you can see here, I managed to down the weapon ship before it got close enough to cause any damage to Earth. Well, Earth is safe once again. But this isn't always the case because it's a random chance that the Slayer will proc, right? So remember that. If it doesn't, then it shouldn't be too much of a loss, and you should still definitely down the probe. But let me know in the comments section if that wasn't the case for you. So there you have it, our guide to beating the Xindi Crisis event. I hope this helps you in your playthrough and allows you to continue on your path to founding the Federation. Well guys, thanks for joining us. If you haven't already, make sure you give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to both of our channels. If you find you're struggling at all with Star Trek New Horizons, then please do check out our tips, tricks and tutorials playlist linked in the description below and at the end of this video.
We also have a Discord server we call The Collective. We discuss everything from these videos to Star Trek in general to what we're having for Sunday lunch. We also make our announcements there as well, and organise multiplayer games that you can play with us. You can join our collective using the link in the description below.
The collective must grow.
Alright, that's it from us for now.
See you next time.
Make it so.